Hey everybody! The last video I did was on the last day of summer, and it has been consistently in the 60s and low 70s since then. Today, my porch thermometer is telling me that right now it's 55.9 degrees. It's almost 10:30 in the morning. I have decided to go ahead and do my final garden tour of 2022. Let me go ahead and tell you, my name is Christy. I think I just have not been saying what my name is in the last few videos. Like, people just automatically know because I'm so famous. But it is Christy, and I am the homesteader wannabe. I want to be a homesteader so bad, but I have to go very slow and work my way up. And right now, most of the concentration's on the garden, which is started super small, and every year has grown just a tad, and next year it's going to grow even bigger. So I want to go ahead and do the final garden tour, and as things still come up, because I do have some fall plantings, I will still cover them. But I'll probably I'm never gonna have another garden tour this year because everything's dying off that's not a fall planting. So let's get started. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Sometimes the wind's gonna be a lot. As you can see, look how beautiful it is today. It's just beautiful. I did get my weed barrier down from my garden. Still waiting for the fence to go up and the gate. And we have all the wood down because the wind has been so crazy that the weed barrier blows around. So my husband's picking up some topsoil today that we can just lay down, not the soil, but the bags, and hold it down kind of like sandbags. I said bags, I meant bags. Okay, strawberries. These strawberries suck. They have not done anything except for look like they were going to give me strawberries. Like, here's a flower, but they don't give me strawberries. This is a very beautiful green strawberry plant that gives me nothing. Thank you, strawberry plant. I appreciate it. Here is my cabbages. I have picked a couple caterpillars off, but not very many. And they're doing really good. I hope that they do good. They're a miniature cabbage, so these pots should hopefully be big enough. Here's the other one. I will check for, haven't checked today for caterpillars. I don't see anything. This is a potato. I had an eye on a potato and I just threw it in this bag, and it's really growing, so I'm very excited about that. Here's another one. There's a carrot. I have no clue. It's a volunteer something. Here's some more strawberry plants that are beautiful. No strawberries. These 3 jalapeno plants, I don't know what happened here, but I don't think it matters, have done great in this pot. So I would definitely plant them back in this pot this year. This is a poblano pepper that hasn't grown at all. I did put a potato over here. I have another eye of a potato right here, another carrot. This is where I cut a green bean plant off and it's sprouting. I don't know. It's something I planted. These, I didn't know what they were, but what they are is marigolds. So they reseeded themselves. Here is a little sunflower, but it's supposed to be a big sunflower, but where I planted it in here, it didn't get big. This tomato plant over here, I came out here, I mean, look how little leaves, and I found a huge hornworm on here. It ate all the leaves off in like a matter of a day. But I'm still getting tomatoes off of there, but they're very small. A hornworm was on this one too. And I did pull a tomato off here too, but like I said, they're very small. I will not do, which I've said this before, but if you're new, I will not grow tomatoes in containers again. Okay. My lavenders rebloomed. They're beautiful. Love them, especially with the yellow marigolds. I think that's so pretty. Still got some bugs, even though it's 59. The sun is warm, and it is where it said 59 was in the shade. So here is my big rainbow tomato. I've Still been pulling hornworms off of my tomatoes, but I don't think I'll get tomatoes after these. So when these ripen, I'll probably, I mean, I'm not going to tear them out. I'll let them go and stuff, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be it. A very late start on my tomatoes. This is another poblano pepper. Something's been eating it, and I planted other things in here. What is that? It's a piece of glass. I planted other things in here for fall, like radishes and stuff. Every time it comes up, something eats it, which I'm guessing is a rabbit, except for this cucumber, which I would love it if it gave me some cucumbers before frost. There's another volunteer marigold. Marigolds, the bees are still just enjoying them, especially on the south side of the house here. Here's my Amish paste. It goes from all the way from over here to over here and down and around. And I've pulled many of it's Amish paste. Did I say that? Anyway, it's Amish paste tomato. I don't know if I said that. If I did, I'm sorry. But I've been pulling these off, but where they come in so sporadically and I only have the one plant, I've just been corn them and throw them right in the freezer. That way, if I choose to make some sauce with them, then I can. Hey, buddy. Even this is part of the Amish paste tomato. Here is my volunteer bush beef tomato, and I have tomatoes on it. Hopefully I can get some off there. If not, I'm not opposed to fried green tomatoes. And here is my mortgage lifter. Took me a second. This is, as I said before, my best tasting tomato of all the tomatoes, but I didn't have very many. This is about it. I did let this grow in here, but one of them got some damage. I would totally cut that off and eat it. I did have some hornworms on here with the wasp eggs, so I left them alone, and I guess they died. Okay, on this side of the house it's very windy and cold. So my cantaloupe, I think, like I said before, I do have a cantaloupe. Oh my lord. Please hurry. You don't have much time. Oh, I have another one. Oh, I'm so happy. Even if I don't get cantaloupes. What I'd like to do if I don't is I'd like to have it big enough where I get seeds out of it. There's my butterfly bush. This is a lily that did nothing because the deers ate it back for years. And there's just got butterfly bushes on all the corners. I'm trying to, as I've said before, I'm trying to get stuff to grow on here because I don't like the transformer. It's ugly. Next year I'm going to plant morning glories because I know they go crazy. And here's all the little things I planted to fill in on this hill. I'm going to plant some Rosa Sharons over here. Like that's lavender, lily, thyme. These are milkweeds. I don't remember it's already dead for the winter. This is a hibiscus. Another little lavender. So on this milkweed, I had a monarch caterpillar and I was so excited. I got some pictures of it and I'll put it in here. And I came back out a few days later and it was gone. I don't know. The deer sometimes eat the leaves off here, so I don't know if a deer ate it or what, but it never did, you know, get in the cocoon or crystalline or whatever they call it. I was weed eating here and my weed eater cap broke, so I'm waiting on a replacement. It's going to be delivered today. And there's some thyme you can hardly see. And there's my pumpkin I planted. I haven't checked it for a while because I know I'm not going to get a pumpkin off of it. I just wanted to see what it would do and see if it would germinate because it was a 2016 pumpkin seed. I don't see any pumpkins on it, but you know, I enjoy watching it grow. I think it'd be so neat if this whole area would just fill in with pumpkin. I would plant earlier next year, and I would plant one in the garden and one out here. But anyway, this is the other side of the transformer. I'll go see if I have any cantaloupes on this side. I did plant a plant on this side also. This plant is doing really good. I think it's doing better than the other plants, but I don't see a cantaloupe. It does okay. It really doesn't get hardly any sun now. And there's my other butterfly bushes. And I just want to show you how beautiful the front of the house is. There's the house. I can't wait till the leaves change, even though I do not like winter. It's always beautiful up here in the fall. All those leaf change trees down there are dogwoods. Okay, here's this little garden. Some of the lavenders came back. These aren't the big time lavenders like in the back. And there's some lilies in here, but the lavenders are so big you cannot see my rocks very well. So I'm going to try to widen this next spring. I was going to try to do it this fall, but I got so much going on this fall that, and you want to get out here. So maybe if I have some pretty days in the winter, I might work on it. Just, you know, when you can't wait to get out here. But I collect rocks when I go walk in the winter, and I put them around all my beds. I haven't got them around in the back yet though, because I have not been walking since I made those beds. And I will be putting them on the outside of my fence in my new garden. I pulled all the zucchinis out of here, and I'm breathing hard. I mean, gosh. Whew, I must be out of shape. I pulled all the zucchinis and the summer squash. There's a summer squash that just never got bigger, and it's very tough, so I'm leaving it out here to see if I can get some volunteers out of it. But I do have one growing right here, so I'm very excited about that. I'd like to eat it now. There's my hollyhocks. This one's going to hopefully bloom. There's another one. There is my butterfly bush. That's the rainbow butterfly bush. Here's my poor, what did I say these were? Hibiscus sawtooth bugs ate the leaves on. But I'm still getting beautiful flowers. I just don't have one today. And here's my ever blooming lilac bush that hopefully next year I will get some blooms. And of course, every bed I'm going to have lavender in it. So there's 2 lavenders. Here's my not volunteer tomato. This is from a sucker. And I need to tie this up. I believe it's a, looks like it's a black Cherokee. And I did say it was a black Cherokee last time. These, I forget what they're called, but they bloom in spring. Azaleas. They were at my mom and dad's house during a drought. My dad bought them in the spring, left them in the pot on the south side of the house, just dying. And I was like, please give them to me. And it's been like 4 years and they still haven't got bigger, but I just can't let something waste. But they are starting to put on shoots, as you can see. So maybe next year. I haven't had any flowers on them, but at least they're alive. Over here, I still have hummingbird feeders up because my last hummingbird was on Tuesday and today is Thursday, so I always leave them up about a week after I see my last one, just in case. Sometimes they'll surprise you. All these Rosa Sharon volunteers are coming out. I'm going to put some of them over there on the hill where I'm trying to fill in where I was just at. I do have weeds in here I need to get out. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull these milkweeds. My giant begonias, they didn't do a whole lot. But I think you're supposed to take the bulbs out. There's some time. You're supposed to take the bulbs out for the winter, and I'm going to leave them because this doesn't get a lot of wind, and I'll just see. If they don't come back, I'm not really going to worry about it because they don't do that much. And these come back violas, and they come back in January. And they're so happy. You're so happy to see them. Even if there's snow on, the violas will be underneath of there. I got those from Roberta's, but I'm sure you can get them other places. Here's some more. And they don't mind that this is a super sunny spot. I mean, shady spot. I cut these Rosa Sharons back. This is about the size I like them in the winter. And I made sure, you know, to get all the seed pods off. But these I still have to cut, and I still have two in front of the garage that I have to cut. So it went from that, went from this to that. But I love doing that and being able to see all the things that you couldn't see while they were up, and it just makes the house look bigger. I don't know why. These Rosa Sharons, they're volunteers. They have to come out, but I usually, where they have this big, I have to wait till winter when the ground is very, very loose to pull them out, because they got a little bit too much roots for me just to pull out right now. I can't believe how weedy this bed got this year. I mean, I've never had this many weeds, but that's the next thing after the Rosa Sharons get trim back all of the Rosa Sharons, is to get in here and weed out all these. But see how these have seed heads on them? I've let it go too long, so next year I'll have the same problem. These lavenders, I usually cut these back in the spring because I love to come out here in the summer and just run my hands. And it smells just like, you know, it smells like lavender. It doesn't matter if it's winter or summer. Here's the thyme that should have kept a lot of weeds out, but it doesn't grow that far back. See how those weeds. And this is some kind of ground cover that I got from a long time ago. And I do have rocks under here, like I said, but this stuff has grown out so much that the rocks are not seen. So I might cut this way back in the spring so that it can, you know, start to grow back over. My butterfly bush has done wonderful this year. I've had lots of butterflies hibernating, coming, monarchs to stop in on the way south. My lilies. Everything is basically just, you know, there's lilies, there's the ground cover, you know, just is repetitive. There is my poor hibiscus that got totally demolished. Then the deers came in here and left, or ate everything I left. There's a little volunteer sunflower that's growing right now. And this is the same kind of thing, except the thyme's really grown out of here. I'm going to take that up and I'm going to plant it over there on that hill where I'm trying to grow things. I'm going to take a lot of these. Right now they're just seed heads. The black-eyed Susan's out. This rose will produce all the way up to, like, even after a frost. It's a double knockout. And I've had it for, I mean, I don't know, 15 years. And I've transplanted that bush and it still lives. These lavenders got so big this year that when they had their full flowers on, they just fell over. These lilies really have turned brown. They get less sun than that bed over there. This is the north side of the house. Here's some butterfly bush that came that was dying, and so I put it in here. It's doing really, really well. Something has been in here and broke off a piece of it, but it's a butterfly bush. As long as some of it's living, it'll live. Butterfly bush. There's my, that is so pretty right now. I forget what those are called. They're something rose. They don't look like roses, they're just thorny bushes. They do have a flower, it's so small that comes out, it's yellow. You probably know exactly what that is. I can't think of it right now. This is a weed, but I kind of think it's pretty, and so it doesn't bother me like this does. This lavender's coming out this year. I'm going to move it somewhere. It's huge, so it just needs to go. Goodness, this is just... I have to be careful still. My husband saw a huge a huge copperhead yesterday. There's my hummingbird mint, still doing good. I've lost a lot of the flowers on the orange one, but the other ones, the yellow, I forget what that one's called. It's a pink, but it's got a cute little name. And the purple are doing good. This tomato needs to be tied up, but it's doing well, especially since it doesn't get a lot of sunlight. It gets a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the afternoon. There's one of my rainbow butterfly bushes and the lavender. I wanted to show you real fast. I still have this mulch. I'm not wanting to put it down because I might have herbicides in it until my tomatoes are done. But I wanted to show you the other side on the ramp. My tomatoes, this is kind of what I wanted. I mean, they're not laying on the ground. They've grown through. And I will do this again maybe next year. And it's so easy to look for hornworms in here. And this is a cherry, so it's huge. But my husband has to refinish this ramp. So he's like, when can I do it? I said, as soon as these big honking ones are ripe, which I don't know how long it takes. Don't look at my cords or my pot of dirt. They've been big for a while, but they're taking a while to become red. Weeds. Boo. This is the bed I told you last week where I skimped on the cardboard, and you could tell. So I'm not going to do that again. This is a cherry. It's the smallest cherry I have. Those cherries are good. It's not what I ordered, but that's okay. Some things ate this. So I will look around. I don't see any. I think hunting hornworms is so fun. It's so satisfying. But when you don't find one, it's not like, oh good, I don't have hornworms. You're like, oh crap, I couldn't find them today, because you know they're there. There's a tomato back there. But these are my biggest tomatoes. And of course there's my rainbow butterfly bush. There's another one. I have 3 rainbow butterfly bushes and 2 lavenders. And I'll probably put a bunch of thyme in here and try to get it filled in. You can see my cardboard and my rocks. I need some better rocks. These rocks are great over here, and these are a little puny. Ran out of rocks. And there's my cherry. This is a huge cherry. I got one to pick. But they've been very good. We had a guy come in and he took all the cattails out of our pond. So our pond looks really good. But I am worried about my red-winged blackbirds because that's where they come back in February and that's where they live. And we didn't think about that, but I mean, we had to do it. I mean, it wasn't a pond anymore. It was turned into a swamp. This makes me so happy to see this. I'm very excited about getting the fence up. My worm bin. Here's my zucchinis. I'm waiting until they dry out because if you remember a few weeks ago, I had hundreds, maybe not hundreds, okay, tens and tens of squash bugs in here. I was going to show you my worms, but my shovels are all being used to hold down this stuff while the wind blows, and it's supposed to just get worse this week because of the storm coming up. And tons of rain, which I've heard so many homesteaders say they're going to get. I'm going to try to get some dirt down on here soon. I did plant whole potatoes in here, and I haven't seen any green yet. So I'm hoping to get some of that. And here's the garden bed I didn't skimp on. I planted a lavender that I accidentally pulled up the other day, so I hope it'll live. And I just throw my rotten vegetables. I had a rotten zucchini. These are like cherry tomatoes that hornworms have gotten into. And here's my 2 other cherry tomatoes. There's some hornworm action. I've just really got a lot of tomatoes over here. This one, I don't know why it's on the ground, but I will wash it and eat it. And we're back to the porch. This was full of peppers. I did pull a bunch of peppers off here today, banana peppers. I will do this again. I just won't do that many banana peppers, and maybe not the marigold. Okay, so that's the end of the garden tours for 2022. It's been so enjoyable. I really enjoy doing the videos, even if I don't got a lot of subscribers and I don't have a lot of people that actually view it. I am going to view it next winter, and so I'm going to get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And it's so fun to look back at your stuff like 5 years down the line or whatever. So that's always fun. I'm only going to get older, so it's always nice to look back to when you were younger and just things were starting. And so to see this garden the way it is now and what it's going to be next year and the years to come. So it's always fun to do that. Well, really that's about all I have. I have something being delivered today that gets me one step closer to homesteader status. Still working on the arm tat. Maybe I'll get an arm tat. I don't know about nose ring. I had a mole that I had to have removed from my nose. I have no feeling here, and if you see me itching my nose all the time, a lot of times it's because where the feeling's just starting to come back, it just itches and itches and itches. But so I don't think I want a nose ring because it really changed my nose. It really screwed up my nostrils, but anyway, nobody cares. So I don't think a nose ring's in my future, but maybe an arm tat. But I'll show you next week what gets me one step closer to homesteader status. But it's kind of like a ha ha ha. It's not really like getting me closer. I don't have chickens or cows or anything like that right now. So have a good week. Pray for the people that are in the South that are not going to be having a good week. Hope that it gets better. Pray for them to get better for them. And I'll see you next week. Bye.